Turn my light. That light is incredibly bright. You turn that much brightness on. And literally 6:06, the market opened and price. This gap was insane. I don't know if there was something that happened over the weekend. Trying to think of somewhere I could look. I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me what happened. All I do is gold just gap down aggressively. So the buys are still valid, and I was just building this out, right? Because I'm gonna make a video on this about my foundation of my trading. Which one is it? It's the fifth one, fifth one and sixth one. Wisdom is proven by fruit, not speed. My non-negotiable, but the wisdom that from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle. The system must feel calm even when price is aggressive. If the system creates urgency, triggers FOMO, encourages forcing trades, it violates wisdom. Seasons change, principles don't. To everything there's a season. For I am the Lord, I change not. The strategy adapts to conditions without changing its rule. Same structure, same execution process. Looking at gold right now, the same thing. It was just I was originally looking at these areas up here. Price broke below. Now it's these areas down here. As long as price maintains above this 4 hour zone, I'm still looking for buys. For potential buying opportunities where price is currently at right now, price is trading at a support area. If it holds, I'm going to take buys. Getting in for buys, my entries was right here. My first take profit is going to be up into this resistance range. I'm going to monitor it on my phone because it is choppy right now. First take profit is 46.95. Beautiful rejection. Price is still holding. Gave me the bounce split that I was looking for. My stops is right below here because if price comes back and starts trading back below here after overlapping, I'm most likely wrong and price is going to continue to keep going down into this next 4 hour zone. First original target, it has to be the closest area that price has the highest the closest area that price has the highest probability of hitting, which will be if I wanted to adjust this to the entire zone, it'd be this zone up here. This is where price rejected the most times. And I see price rejected it a little bit here, so I'll put it this zone. Because what could happen is price could easily come up into this area, reject it, and then continue to keep coming back down. If that's the case, at that point in time, I would have been up a what 1 to almost 1 to 3 R multiple. I'm just gonna manage the trade according to my trade management, depending on how the candles look. If the candles are big and huge, then I'm going to trail my stop loss according to the body of that candle, like the body ratio. If the candles are smaller and smaller, I'm just going to put it below the next candlestick. If price comes down, creates this lower high here, and just drops down, then I'm going to get out of this position. If I'm being completely, I don't really care. Like I'm not too big. One thing I've really adjusted with my system is not caring about like having this tool at the exact area. If I'm looking at my trade locker, my entry was right here. Still doesn't matter because price is trading at this area right now, close to it. TP one, I will still consider this as TP being hit. Therefore, with that being the case, in no reality am I going to end up losing money on this trade. I'm going to trail my stop loss accordingly. For positions right now, what I'm going to do is move my stop losses below this wick that's forming on a 1 minute time frame. If price flips around here, I'm going to just go ahead and get out of the position. Secured one of my positions, and now I'm going to move my stop loss and profit to about 1/3 of this candle that's forming. Now my stop loss is moved. I secured one of my positions, and then I move the other position stop loss to about 1/3 of this candle. Therefore, if price comes down and stops this position out, that'd be a beautiful, grateful, blessed, and amazing win for this position. Just got stopped out and profit on these two positions. Beautiful, grateful for this trade. Now I'm going to look for the next setup. See what happens. If price does pull back down into this area of support and holds that support, then I'll look for another buying opportunity to look for buys back up into resistance range. If price does not give me an opportunity, I would wait for price to break, retest, and then I'll look for buys in this range here, and then look for those buys up into this area. If price fails to maintain above this support area, then I'll wait and see what price does down here in this 4 hour zone. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to place these trades on my phone so I can monitor them a lot cleaner. Now, one thing that God has revealed to me and shown me, especially with the way that social media teaches, I stopped learning from social media and I started learning from the truth and started learning from the word and building my foundation off the word of God to trade. And what I used to be in this whole social media thing of your trades have to be this certain way, your risk to reward has to be exactly at a 1 to 2, and if it's not, then X, Y, and Z. It was just so worldly. One thing that, oh, this is clean. Beautiful rejection. Entry. Immediate entry. Immediate entry. After the rejection, price broke above immediate entries. Stops below the support, targeting the highs first, and if price continues to keep breaking above into the resistance, and then to the 1 hour zone. Back to what I was saying, one thing that the Most High has taught me about this trading stuff is it's perceived and you look at it the way that you look at it. It's your system, it's your strategy. You trade it the way that it is. I look at it as I don't care about it's levels to it, right? There was a point in time where within my system I needed to see the win rate, especially within my playbooks. I needed to see the win rate of my strategy because I'm not going to be using a system that has a low win rate. Out of 100 trades, I'm losing 80% of those. No, I've already went through the season of studying my system to know that my system has a positive win rate. Cool. Then I went through the studying of the risk to reward. Oh, that was a big push down just now. Big volatiles. Then I went through the hold on. Then I went through the understanding the average R multiple of each one of my setups, how my system is. I know on average my R multiples are positive. I would make more with the high win rates. I know on average that I have a positive R multiple over the long run, and I've already went through the season. And me understanding that and knowing that, let me see, me understanding and knowing that now I'm in the season where I no longer need to calculate that stuff. I don't need to calculate my win rate. I don't need to calculate my R multiple. I already been through that season. Why? I don't need to calculate and second guess when I wake up and walk. If I don't need to calculate and second guess if I am seeing how often every time I wake up or every time I put on my shoes. I don't need to see the rate of what are the times where I actually put on my left foot versus the right foot and make sure I'm putting my shoes on each foot. I'd never do that. Why would I do that? Because walking and putting on my shoes is something normal to me. That's how I treat trading, the same exact way. I no longer need to be doing those things that I did before because now trading because now trading has become second nature. And that's my viewpoint on it. So now with my system, I don't care about R multiple. I don't care about win rate. If I see the opportunity, I'm going to enter the trade, regardless of even the position just now. I know for a fact it was not overall a 2R multiple from both positions. I know over the long run, if I'm taking the same exact setups, if I know my main, let me move my phone out of the way. If I know my main TP, say longer term, right? If I know my main TP is going to be up into the next zone, 1 hour zone, way up here, or even way back up here into the highs. If I know my longer term TP is there, I could get a 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 1, 1 to 0.5, one break even, lose a trade. And by the time price gets up to that main area, I could have made a 5R multiple, 7R multiple. I look at it as when I say I am done trading for the day, or not even when I'm done trading for the day, because the beautiful part about it is every time there's a setup, I can take it. But when I'm done with that setup, when that setup has been complete, do I have more money in my trading account than I did before this setup started? It does not matter how much more is in that account. Is there more money in the account? Yes, I'm grateful. It's as simple as that. It's literally as simple as that. If it's less money in the trading account, okay, cool. Continue to keep trading and then make that money back plus more. Because I know that there are times I don't have 100% win rate strategy. There are times where I lose, but I know the times where I win and those setups play out will always compensate for the losses. If as long as I continue to keep discipline, continue to walk in the spirit and not fulfill the lust of the flesh and get greedy and try to overtrade and FOMO and start breaking my system, then I know over the long run, the account balance in my account is going to slowly increase more and more and more as time goes on. It's truly as simple as that. I was looking at gold a little bit in the past. I remember gold did something like this exactly last week. It's roughly around in the same area. Was it last week or a little bit before that? What was this? Friday for April? April 10th. It was a month ago. It wasn't last week. But I remember gold in this exact same area. It gapped open. It was the same exact, like a huge gap. It gapped down, came down here, came down a little bit more, created this double bottom, and then went all the way up to the top. All it just kept on going up for the rest of the week until they got up there. There's no determining that that same exact thing is gonna happen. I'm just observing still, even within the noise and the gaps and things of that sort, price is still respecting support and resistance. It still came down into this area, even if this area doesn't hold. I still did hold as support, just like it did here in the past. It held as support. Even if price decides to break below and come down to this next area, this area of support is still a valid area of support for me, and I will still deem that this area is an important area to keep in mind, because at any point in time, a 1 hour zone can be as, what's the word, be as powerful as a 4 hour zone. A 5 minute zone could be as powerful as a 4 hour zone at times, depending on, where price is trading at. This 1 hour zone has been very, very powerful. Support for, what was this? This was Thursday. For the past, like the entire 2 days, price cannot break below or above here. It broke above and it came right back, literally the very next candle. Going to still looking to target up into these highs here and then up into this next high, TP1, TP2, and then up into the 1 hour zone, depending on what the market does here. This is one of those moments with the trading is just literally turn on the camera and just flow. Just turn on the camera, press record, and just flow. It doesn't matter how long this is. I will just let it run through and however long, because this is the reality. I just made a video today and posted it. It's like social media is so fake. Social media is an alternate reality. Social media is not real, especially when it comes to this trading stuff. Trading wise, and I can understand it, because for content wise, to condense the content, because nobody, well, not nobody, there are people that are there, but I understand it's, why would you sit here and have 60 minutes worth of a live trading video when you can take that 60 minutes and turn it down to 10 minutes? Every time the market does something, then you move. Every time the market does something, then move, then move, then move. I can understand that. For me, I want to be different. I want to share my reality, share the truth of how it is. There are times where, just like this trade right here took what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. There are times where trades are 5 minutes. And there are times where I'm sitting here and just flowing. Enter this trade, got out this trade, and I get back in again right here at this point in time. Got back in again here. There's just times where I'm just sitting here and flowing and continue to keep flowing until momentum is no longer there, until price is no longer trading at one of the areas. And if price is giving me momentum, I'm going to be present in the market no matter what. and I want to just share this and document all of this, whether it's just me sharing wisdom and knowledge and gems along the way. I just want to share the real of what it's like for me personally, trading on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes there are trades like this where this is the case. Sometimes the market is a lot more faster. Sometimes the market is a lot more slower. Right now, price it broke past the highs. TP1 and TP2 is hit. What I'm going to do now is manage this accordingly because price came all the way up here. No reality am I going to let price come back down to break even. And how I'm going to manage this with this momentum is I'm going to have my stop loss below this candlestick to give it more room to breathe and more room to flow. I'm not just going to put it right below here because this candle is still forming. And I'm not going to have it way below here, below this 5 minute, because I said that break even. I'm going to put it right here below this 3 minute. If price rejects this area again and comes back down, and the reason why my trade management is like this, because once again, I always am in that mindset of, is there more money in my trading account now than I started with? Yes, because I look at it as trading is, God put trading in my life for a reason, right? Trading is so beautiful because there's going to be a point in time in my trading where just this first position alone, just that 1 to, let's say, one, let's call it a 1 to 1.5. A 1 to 1.5 could be a $100,000 trade, a $50,000 trade, a $20,000 trade, $60,000 trade. Why would I seek more from, like, why would I seek to try to keep holding more and gaining more and more and more when God has blessed me with $20,000 in a matter of 5 minutes? What was there more for me to, seek? Just be grateful for it. And that's how I look at it and view it. That's all it is. It doesn't matter what the current account balance is. Let me monitor this. Oh my God. Secured another position, and I have the other stop loss right here. So my first stop loss for the first position was right below here, and now I put my second stop loss for my second position right here, because if price comes down and creates a higher low within this area here, price could still potentially continue to keep breaking above. Regardless of what price does, I already secured profit on this position, and if price does come down, this would be profit. It'll still be profit because this isn't at break even. This would be in a profit. The stop loss is in profit. And once again, like I said, there's going to be a point in time, right, where this right here is going to be thousands of dollars. This right here, this little bit of a stop loss, even right here, boom, price hits that, that's still thousands of dollars. That's something to be grateful for and not take for granted. And just having this viewpoint on trading while I'm trading live and just speaking this out loud, it just makes it so much more calming, so much more relaxing because I'm not focused on the profit. I'm just focused on continue to keep flowing and flowing because I've observed for me and my system. If I want to flow, I can't focus on the profit because if I'm focused so much on the profit, I get out of the flow state because my whole point, I'm trying to flow. I want to flow all the way up into that main bigger TP price. This was the first TP that price hit, and price hit my TP. Grateful. My next main TP is up here. Eventually, way back up until price fills up that gap. If it does fill up the gap, and I want to flow as long as I possibly can. And I've observed that having this mindset, when I was so thinking about profit wise, worldly things, and trying to hold and close and not following the system, I wouldn't be able to flow for that long. I may have been able to flow for one or two times, and then after that, my mind is all over the place. Now it's different. I can flow for however long it takes. If I need to sit here for however long, I would just sit here for however long, pick up my Bible and read, edit some content, something that I can still be able to focus, but not just sit here and stare at the screen for hours and hours for no reason. Long as this 30 minutes. It's just gonna be a 30-minute video, however long. I'm honestly just gonna keep it recording. If I'm doing something more private, I'll pause it and then continue to keep playing it whenever, like if I had to pull up something private on my computer, and then I'll pause it and just play it whenever I make an update. If not, I'm gonna just keep it rolling. I get stopped out here, which I just did. No longer is it frozen now? It's not frozen. no longer in the positions, and now this is the state of discipline. This is the state of entering, not entering X, Y, and Z. I closed one of them. I closed one of them right here. That one got closed out. We'll just put this here for right now. That one got closed out right here. First position right there. And now this is that state of understanding when to take positions and when to not take positions. There was a higher probability chance of price going in the opposite direction, especially aggressively when price was trading at this area here. It came here, it moved away aggressively, came back down into here, rejected, is still in this zone here, rejected aggressively, versus where price is currently trading at now. Price trading in this middle. It was not as consistent as these areas. Prices broke below here, came here, boom, boom. Price was not as consistent. There was a higher probability chance for price to make movements here than there. Therefore, it'd be a higher probability chance for me to wait until price pulls back into this area again to look for buys, or wait for that break, wait for a break and retest and look to take buys here up into that next 1 hour zone. I'll see if it does it here in the next few minutes. See what it does. If not, then this will be the conclusion of this specific video, and I'm still going to continue to trade throughout the rest of the day. For me to stop looking for buys at this area, price would have to break below here. If price starts breaking below here, then I'm going to stop looking for buys here, and I'm going to wait for either price to come down into this area or wait for a potential price to do something like an overlap. If price were to break below here, then break back above and then retest this area, then I'll look for buys again here. I'm just going to set some alerts down at the support range, and then I'll set another alert here at the highs. And whenever price hits one of these alerts, I will come back and continue to keep trading, and I'll potentially make another video on that one. But other than that, hope this video did plant the seed, and hopefully you guys got some type of wisdom, some type of knowledge out of this. And I love you all so much. Catch you all in the next one. You all stay blessed, kings and queens.